how people been getting away with this for so long, these networks and these entertainment getting it so long. Hey, you guys are saying it to each other. We're not saying it. You guys are. So, hey, it's okay. You know what I mean? If we took some sort of pride in ourselves and understand that this N-word was used we weren't even seen as humans. That word describes us in such a bad effing way. Why would you want to take that and try to turn this shit around?
Yeah. And
why would you want to take that and turn it? Why would you want to try and do that? Granted, put that word in the museum. Let's go look at that word and understand it and break the shit down. Why do we have to continue to call ourselves that?
They have, they have trained us to normalize and accept ignorance.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you something. The world of all classes, shapes, sizes, genders, everybody, everywhere in this world, no matter who you are, the world is mostly ignorant. And if you notice something about ignorant people don't want to change.
That's right.
And for a long time, we have embraced our ignorance, and we thought it was something to be proud of. Boy, black people make me mad sometimes. They really do. Black people piss me off, man.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, man. I'm not gonna get into it, but I made one statement in our review for the Blackening. I made one statement, no judgment. It was quick. Right. It wasn't even said with anger or anything. It was just a preference that I said. And I like the movie, The Blackening. I like it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny. Review. Yeah, I gave it a matinee. I thought it was a very funny movie, man. But I said that there were some problems with it. I said there was some problems with the pacing near the end of it. And I said, you know, and just for me, dialogue-wise, I said they say the N-word a lot. And I've never been a fan. I've said this for years. I said, because I got nothing about using the word every now and then, but I told you, when I hear people dropping it a lot, it becomes a crutch word. Yes. It becomes lazy to me.
Yes.
And and it just doesn't, it's not an old person thing, anything like that. It just doesn't sound good to me. It's like when somebody says, first of all, the word is problematic anyway. We know that. Let's not pretend. All right. It's a very problematic word, but I got nothing. I'm not judging people saying it. I ain't pulling Bill Cosby on y'all. I didn't get no speeches. I didn't look down on anybody. I wasn't judging anyone. So I just said it has the N-word there and a lot for me. And it's something that just wasn't for me.
You said the same thing about Django and Shane.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing about Django.
So I agree. I've said the same thing about the Boondocks, and I love the Boondocks. Yeah. But some people, this is what pisses me off about black people, man. And I ain't going off on black people. I ain't pulling no Cosby, but goddamn, man, anytime somebody says like, I don't like this one little thing about the culture, or better yet, because when I said this at the beginning of our review. I said, whenever we talk about blackness, a lot of times it's not positive. A lot of times when you talk about blackness as referring to each other and our blackness, it becomes Black Olympics. It's us comparing who's the better black.
The Black Olympics.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who's the blackest?
It becomes the better because you ain't black enough because you do this. You ain't black enough because you do that. It's either people want to stay ignorant, or people want to be bougie, or people think they better than somebody, or you ain't real enough. I'm sick of this shit with black people because we always judging each other based on little things. Right. And what pisses me off more, whenever one person came in and said something real stupid, I wish I could, there's some people, I don't let comments get to me, but this is the I wish I can get his face and point my finger on his forehead and say that shit again. Damn. Because he would say, because this is what's stupid about it, man. He said that, Corey would, what is it? What did he say?
You can't remember. I can't remember what it was. He gets so angry, you forgot.
I don't know what the hell he said.
I'm sorry.
It was something about, I won't say, I'm going to paraphrase this. But it was it was something like black empowerment politics, because I was saying how, there are certain images that Hollywood has of black people that I probably wouldn't make a movie for, but, I appreciate, I don't have any judgment when other people do. Taking pride in yourself all of a sudden is getting into like black pride or black empowerment politics. And then it was called a coon for just wanting to see people do better.
Wait, what?
If I'm acting coonish, if I'm sitting up here shucking and jiving and I'm like, hey, show all my black ass, yowza, mammy, y'all, if I'm doing all that, then as I was talking, what you say, I was putting them S's on everything.
S's on everything.
If I'm doing that, then I'm Tom Coonery. Okay, fine. But if I'm sitting up here talking about just us trying to be intelligent, a little smarter, carry ourselves better, all of a sudden you ain't real. You anywhere from you ain't real to you white to you a coon. Man, what? Y'all need to stop that shit. Just stop doing it. Whenever we try to do better, man, whenever we just try to take pride in ourselves, it's not the white people a lot of times. There are. All the time, there are. Okay. But there's always black people sitting up here saying, you can't do this and you can't do that, and making you feel bad for doing things that ain't hurting anybody.
I need to ask, how do you know the person that left the comment was black?
Because I could tell by the way they were talking. Okay. Yeah, I could tell by the way they were talking.
You can tell. All right.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny what sometimes our people will go to the ends of the earth, to protect and preserve. And a lot of times that N-word is one things they will die at the hill to keep saying. But at the same time, get angry when somebody else says it. Now, that's where you get the problem of where you want to keep something going on, but have rules to shit. That is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life, okay? Which is why when we started doing this whole thing, and there was a point when Billy was saying the N-word a lot.
Yeah.
And I spoke to you about that. Now, listen, I ain't telling him not to say it. I just gave a scenario as though, okay, we're here, we're doing our comedy, yada, yada. People like we're saying stuff like that. And for me personally, if I say something, I want it to be okay for them to go repeat it or come back and repeat it to me. Because at this point now, it becomes almost like rap songs now, right? Yeah. You drop the N-word, N-word, N-words, and we go to these concerts, you're going to get everybody saying these N-words, N-words, N-words. And if you're cool with that, by all means, go do you. But for me personally, I don't want that to come back to me. So if I'm in these streets and you come talking to me that bullshit, I have every right to say something about it because I have not put that energy out there for you to come back and say it to me.
It can be weaponized.
So, a thing, so I'm, weaponizing this thing. It's such a disparity of how quickly the F word for, gays has been abolished. Yeah. Even thinking about it, it's gone. You can't do shit about that.
Yeah.
But the N-word, you can say that all day, every day, and because, unfortunately, our people are perpetuating this as though they want to take it and change it around. How do you take it and change it and want to make it, a thing that you taking it and empowering yourself, right? How you empowering yourself by this word, but at the same time, nobody else can say it but you? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't work, right? If you could say it, everybody should be able to say it, right? But guess what? If you don't want anybody to say it, your ass shouldn't be saying it out publicly like it's okay. Whatever you do behind closed doors, you could drop the N-bomb, F-bomb, whatever you want to do, right? But make sure that shit is with your people and your circle. Don't have it come out. Because if you do, right, and everybody's thinking it's okay, it's going to come back and bite you, man. Always. So that's why this N-word shit is always wacky to me. Because it's okay to say it, but you don't say it. You don't say it either. Only I can say it. I don't know. Let's get the paper bag out. Carlos, nah, brother, you better not say it because you ain't brown enough. You know what I mean? It's silly. It's silly.
It's another level. Like I said, man, I drop that word sometimes, but over the years
I've changed a lot. You used to drop it a little bit more often.
Over the years I pulled back, but that's just me. Yeah. I'm not judging people.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not judging anybody at all. I never sat back and said, How dare you? You should be ashamed for using that word. I never said that. Never. I understand when people say it. I laugh at it. I have no problem with it to certain extents. But that's the problem. What I think with our culture, man. We can't even have our own opinions with somebody. It's different for a lot of other cultures. People can have their different opinions and be called on it and be challenged on it. But with us, it's always challenging. It comes back to challenging our blackness. You know what I mean?
It's like a colorism inside the community itself.
It very much is. Yeah. And and I was just kind of to the point where you are attacked for it. You're judged by it.
Yeah.
Just simply by me saying that, and listen, I was even saying it more as a movie dialogue thing. I was even saying it as a cultural thing. I said, they use the N-word a lot in the movie, and I just don't think it needed to be used that much. All of a sudden, it turned into I have a lot of white friends, and so maybe I don't do it because I'm controlled by them. I think I'm better than everybody else. Or, that's an old person thing. He must be getting up there. Or, you know what? Here you go with your race politics. Oh, coon ass Corey. It's wow, man. So you can't even. You mean to like? And let me just say this: they weren't even attacking me on that. They attacked me on that, but also talking about. I would like to see the images of black people improve in Hollywood. I was called a coon because of that. Crazy. And I use the word right now because I guess I'm not a real nigga. So, I hate this. I hate this with ourselves, man. And it's the most ignorant shit I've ever seen. I'm getting really pissed of seeing people out there, black people attack other black people for getting educated, for trying to move up, for trying to live better lives somewhere. You should be helping those people, man. And those people should not be rubbing in other people's faces and trying to help other people on the way up, as while they're gaining wealth, while they're gaining success. We should all be trying to help each other, not pull each other down with some stupid bullshit. That pissed me off, man.
That was beautiful, man.
That was
beautiful.
Man.
I feel you,
man.
Like, at least in the Puerto Rican community, that's also a big thing, especially in New York.
Yeah.
So this is why we're not streaming on Kick. So we want to avoid this. Let's switch it, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of disheartening to see the Asian community, they really band together. The Jewish community, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with us, it's all, it goes back to a lot of systemic racism and, stuff that's hard to get over and subliminal shit and target words that keep us back as well. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of that shit we still need to kind of get over. But
we also know I gotta,
I'm not blaming any type of one thing. But a lot of it is being normalized through music. A lot of it is being normalized through that medium.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I always go back to this joint. You could say the N-word all you want, right? Michael Jackson, King of Pop, he had a song out. They don't really care about us. Yeah, my man said, Jew me, sue me. Jew me, sue me. That became the buzz and topic for weeks on the news. How he offended the Jews and why did he say that? How could he say that? What did he say? And da-da-da-da-da. And that was a big thing because he said, Jew me, sue me. That was it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he had other songs. He dropped the N-bomb on one of those other songs. They ain't say shit about that.
And you know what?
I was like, wow. Well, that uproar was out of control.
It's normalized, and I think you said this, it's normalized in entertainment. Because listen, Oz is right. There's a lot of systemic racism out there. Other cultures have been allowed to come into this country and succeed. They've been able to pull together and pool their wealth together and pool their resources together and make stores and make businesses and own banks. We have done, don't get this wrong. We have done the same thing. Blacks have done the same thing, but we were just targeted more than those other groups. For some reason, we were told by this country, you will not have that. They bombed us, they mobbed us, they killed us, they burnt these places down. And so throughout time, we've just been used to just being people who don't have shit. We've been used to spend more money than try to earn money and earn wealth. And plus, we've been prevented from having it.
Where the Italian community, the Irish community, and other European countries were afforded the luxury, even Asian communities, that's a big thing. And when the black community tried to have their own bank, have their own society, and at one point in history, they had a thriving economy, they said, we gotta shut this shit down because it's gonna surprise us.
Well, for some reason with us, because we didn't come into this country like other cultures did, where we came in free. We were seen as property, and we were seen as people who you will not get ahead of anybody. You wouldn't, especially us. Yep. And so any gains were always taken away from us. But we need to look past the bullshit. And this is why I always tell y'all, man, look into subtle racism. Look into the racism that is behind closed doors. Look into racism that is quietly out there and is, as you say, Oz, normalized, because that is what's happening right now. That's why I say that it's important to see these images of us being, people who are not, who are not always being funny, who not always being athletes, who not always being rappers and all that. That's fine. None of that stuff is bad, but some of this stuff they love to see. Like with comedy, hey, they're laughable, they're affable, they're funny. They like to see us in non-threatening positions. Those non-threatening positions are positions where it seems like we don't really have power.
That's correct.
That's intelligence is power. Social status is power to them, and so they don't want us to have that. That's why they push these images of us in places where we don't have that.
No,
the caveat to that is, and how people been getting away with this for so long. These networks and these entertainment getting it for so long. Hey, you guys are saying it to each other. We're not saying it. You guys are. So, hey, it's okay. You know what I mean? If we took some sort of pride in ourselves and understand that this N-word was used we weren't even seen as humans. That word describes us in such a bad effing way. Why would you want to take that and try to turn this shit around?
Yeah. And
why would you want to take that and turn it? Why would you want to try and do that? Granted, put that word in the museum. Let's go look at that word and understand it and break the shit down. Why do we have to continue to call ourselves that?
They have, they have trained us to normalize and accept ignorance.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you something. The world of all classes, shapes, sizes, genders, everybody, everywhere in this world, no matter who you are, the world is mostly ignorant. And if you notice something about ignorant people don't want to change.
That's right.
And for a long time, we have embraced our ignorance, and we thought it was something to be proud of. To the point where, and not like I said, I'm not giving you a Cosby speech. I recognize what goes on with our culture. I recognize what set us back. But man, we gotta look at some shit and stop pulling each other down for simple comments as, well, I think I'd like to better myself. Oh, you think you better than me? You just like me. I don't want to hear all that from
crazy,
people.
right?
Also remember that the lowest communities that get the lowest education in the countries are Black communities, because education in this country is funded by taxes and housing in a lot of places. So the entire system and systemic racism is designed in such a way so you will not get out of that.
And let's just close this off. I'm gonna tell you something that was very enlightening to me. When I was over in Mexico, and this is, I got the number of, I didn't get the number, I got the number. There was some very young girls there. They were very nice. They hung out with me. So we exchanged information. But one of them was sitting there with me the night that I was talking to this woman. Mexican woman, by the way, who was there, but she's from New Mexico.
Oh, my uncle?
And she told me, we were talking for a while. And she actually opened up and said, I don't mean this as racist when I say this. And all of us started laughing because I said, usually when you said you don't mean this to be racist, it's probably going to sound racist. But please, continue.
Continue. I have a show on Monday. Continue.
I got to hear this. And because I was sitting there having a conversation, and I was sitting up there, I was very mellow. I had a few drinks in me, and I was talking to her in the tone that I'm talking to you right now. If I'm talking, I've changed my demeanor just a little bit to show I was talking like. I'm talking like this right now. Yes, I'm having a good time. How are you doing? So how long are you here? When are you going back? What do you do? That kind of conversation. So she said, well, I don't mean to be racist, but oh shit, here we go. Go ahead, please. But you're the first Black person that I've seen that doesn't act weird. And and these were white girls over there, and they were just like, holy shit. And we all just kind of like, what the
Was the person white saying this to
No,
you?
so I told you she was Mexican.
Okay, so Mexicana.
That's a Mexican woman from New Mexico. So and I was like, so what do you mean? I said, what do you mean by that? I was like, Marty. Oh, well, what do you mean by that?
That's awesome.
Got your Billy D on.
Yeah. Oh, and it got worse. She said, oh, you talk, you talk normal. I was like, oh shit. That's like, now, first of all, I'm offended because don't think because I'm talking about the N-word and how Black people talk that that's not abnormal, by the way. It's just, it might be different from your culture, but we ain't animals because we talk like we do. All right. Just because Black people talk a certain way, that does not mean that, it's not a reflection on them being weird. But so I said, okay, so we into some, oh, you speak so well shit. Okay, so I'm an exception. All right. And then she got offended when I called on it because I didn't even get mad. I was like, bitch, what are you talking to? I was like, no. I said, well, I'm not saying you're racist, ma'am, but I'm saying that does come across as a little ignorant, you know? And then she got offended. She got mad at me. Yeah. For calling out on that. For calling out some ignorant shit. And but where did she get it from? I can guarantee you, she doesn't hang around a lot of black people. Nope. And where she gets it from watching the media. She gets it from watching, and when she sees stuff in the media, she sees other black people that talk like me. I guarantee you, because she's a general manager of Burger King. She told me that. So she gets all kind of customers up in there. So don't tell me that you don't see other black people like me. She chooses to see what she's been fed over time.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's right.
And don't you hate when that shit happens? You talking to somebody who's, different race or whatever like that, and you're not even thinking about this person is white or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just having a regular conversation, and they pull that bullshit out. And it's like, oh, fuck, that's right. That's right, I am talking to this. Not even talking, at this point, I'm not even looking at a person anymore. I'm looking at your ethnicity, because you're bringing up some bullshit that I wasn't even paying attention to at all. We were just talking to talk.
Me.
And all of a sudden, this I hate that. I hate that. You just having a nice conversation, so they bring us some race shit. Out of nowhere, like, what the f*** is this about?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
We weren't talking about that. Thank you,
yes,
man. You were 100% right.
Yes.
We weren't talking about race at all. I was having a pleasant conversation with you.
Good time,
ma'am.
But you wanted to drop that.
But for some reason, it came out of nowhere. Like I was supposed to take this as a compliment.
Because she thought about it as soon as she saw you. That's why.
Yeah, and I did not even get mad at her. I calmly told her. I said, "Well, that's a little insensitive, ma'am." I said, I didn't think that was called for. I called her. I said, I don't think that you have. I think you have a very small circle of friends, or you're kind of sheltered when it comes to other cultures. And by the way, it wasn't just black people. She had her opinions of gays. She had her opinions of poor people. So she was just kind of ignorant all around. All poor people on welfare. These days I should have known it was going there. These days, I live for my kids. I love my kids. And these days you got to be careful. I mean, you never know. I was like, you never know what? I already know we're going. Well, it's okay for everybody to come out and say they're gay now. I was like, yes, yes it is.
Oh man, she had well-rounded ignorance. Okay.
It was everywhere, man. I couldn't get too mad, because I was like, shit, that was I told her that's what made her mad. I said, man, I think that. I told her, I said, you're prejudiced. I said you have a prejudice, and I'm not calling you racist. You have a prejudice, but I said, I think the only people that you really don't have this for is probably for white people.
Yeah. And
she got mad at me, and I said, I said maybe not poor white people. I'm sure you have a judgment against very poor white people too. But I think if you see an affluent white person, that's the one person that you do not have any judgment against. And she got mad. And then came back later where she was like, I can't even hear what they were saying. They were talking about each other. They were talking to some of my friends in Spanish. And she was like, see, we're making jokes about Mexicans. I say, first, I can't understand what the talking about. Second, I guarantee you it's different from what you just did a little while ago.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. But you made a great point talking about, man, we weren't saying any of this shit. But then again, I wasn't talking about I wasn't talking about the gays or the poor. So,
No.
And she didn't like dogs. So it was
fuck her, man. Her. She doesn't like chihuahuas.
She did not like dogs. She told me, I don't care, because all the white girls, of course, pull their dogs out. Of course. And then I pulled my dog out. She said, y'all can show me any dog. It's just my opinion. I don't like them. I said, well, now that's why I know I can judge people if they don't like dogs, because they don't like dogs. They're probably homophobes. They're racist. They're classist.
Well, having said that, some people treat dogs better than black people. You know what I mean? So it's kind of.
I knew it. The moment she said she didn't like dogs, I should have known this shit was going to happen.
So it's going downhill from there. Yeah. Well, listen, man. Folks, man, if somebody comes up, if you're having a good conversation, they come out of nowhere talking about, don't take this the wrong way. You got two choices. You can sit there, listen to it, and say, listen, let me save you the time, and leave. Because I guarantee you, whatever's going to come out their mouth is going to be some bullshit. Okay? Yeah. Oh, big time. And if you're there for it, by all means, sit down and talk about it. If you want to try to change their mind or have a debate, please do. But no, what's coming out is going to be some bullshit. And, whatever conversation you have is going to be done.
I don't like seeing us today. That's why when I see somebody, I don't care what I see. If I see something I disagree with, I try not to come down on anybody too hard, but especially with black people, because, the moment you do, it's going to come across as preachy. It's going to come across as you're attacking. So I'm very tolerant of even ourselves in doing certain things. I don't judge. But the moment that I see other people being judged just for having their own opinions. I said I didn't like hearing the N-word that much in the movie. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, you and them old that don't approve the word and don't understand how young folks are, and you bougie, and you have all your white friends, you kissing up to them. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. We got all that from one little statement.
Yeah, that's the best part. We young people, we're taking the word and we're gonna make use of it. Okay, go ahead, bro. And you're the first ones to get upset if some white person rolls up and says it to you. First person start fighting.
I remember the first time somebody told me like that was my aunt's going through Jim Crow, and she's much darker than me. And she explained everything that Oz is talking about it in New York. She told me the same fucking thing. And I remember me and all my cousins, that shit stopped. Yeah. Doesn't matter. That shit stopped after she sat us down and talked to us.
Again, man, y'all can say the N-word till you're blue in the face, man. Just leave that shit someplace else when you come around me if you can. If not, I'll see y'all later, man. I just don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? And I was never one to keep saying it back then anyway, man. I'm good.
And I'd be a hypocrite. Unlike Oz, I can't really say anything because I'd be a hypocrite if I said don't use it, because I've used it and still drop it every now and then sometimes. I grew up in a certain atmosphere where we all said it and shit. And it's just, let me just say this. As I have to conduct more business and I have to do more things around more diverse people.
As I grow,
I've learned to pull back and choose my places where I say it. That's not important though. Do what you want to. It's just, let's just stop holding each other down. Let's just stop holding each other.
Right.
Let's stop trying to guilt each other for people having harmless opinions. And if I can be honest, people trying to improve themselves. Jesus Christ.
That's it. And again, man, I laugh when some people say they punctuate something with it and it's funny. I laugh my ass off. That's great. But I have a hard time trying to repeat that around certain people or certain places. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't want that to come back to me. I don't want it to be normal for the person to come to me and say that to me. I just don't want it to be normalized.
The normalization of the word itself.
The N-word has make me laugh and still makes me laugh, and I still see it as something.
Hell yeah!
And listen, we want to. I'm gonna stop before I get into this. It's a complicated thing because I still see it as something that spices up the talk around certain people and whatnot. I just don't mad at somebody if they say I don't like to use it that much. That's their opinion.
That's all.
Hey, you like to use it that much? You like to drop it every 5 minutes? Fine. That's great. If you do it effectively, that's awesome. You over there, if you don't want to say it, cool. I ain't mad at either one of y'all. Leave me the alone. Put it come down to shit.
At the end of the day, you were not reviewing the use of the word, but the actual movie itself and how the word impacted the movie. It was
something about the dialogue in the movie. I'm done with y'all. I'm sick of it. Here's the email, and then we'll leave it alone. Hey, Corey, I'm Carlos. I'm a black man, a travel nurse / healthcare worker.
Oh, shit. Really?
Had my master's degree, and I have zero tolerance for the N-word. I don't say it, and I don't allow anyone to call me it, and even my black peers. Every white person I've explained that to have been 100% understanding. I've got only pushback from my fellow black folks, even cousins who call me stuck up and bougie for my stance on it. I don't care if others want to use it, just don't call me it. Just my 2 cents on this topic. Yep. You know what?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another thing. So. Trying to cancel culture people, for all that shit. Jesus, man.
Hey, man, pull up your pants. Don't get caught with the pound cake.
I ain't doing that to anybody. I'm not doing that. They steal the Coca-Cola. Why were you holding the pound cake in the first place? And I ain't talking to you like that. I'm not talking down to you and they're raping hoes. I'm not doing that.
Where's the Coke?